Oilersnation After Dark begins now.
Oh boy, she was a tough one out there tonight on Rogers Place ice. With the Edmonton Oilers winning 3 hockey games in a row, Zach, we really should have expected this. 4 might have been a stretch as they get smacked on home ice by the Minnesota Wild. And Zachary, the cream dream, it's officially dead for the Edmonton Oilers. It's the final game. They'll wear it all season. And the first time they lose in regulation while wearing their alternate jerseys. They close out the year 5-1-1 in the cream team jerseys. But tonight, Tristan Jarry, bad. Penalty kill, bad. And that's pretty much all she wrote tonight in this hockey game. 2 more to go before the Olympic break. 1 more remaining in this 8-game homestand. As the Oilers, they lose 7-3 to the Minnesota. Not so mild anymore. Damn, this might be the most exciting, entertaining Minnesota Wild team I've ever seen in my 30 years on this earth. Like, I don't think that's hyperbole. But anyways, hello, what up, and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark, brought to you by Bet365, 19+. Please play responsibly, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. What a shame, Zachary. The Edmonton Oilers actually start fast. They actually start on time in this hockey game. They actually score the first goal of this hockey game, only to slowly piss it away. A night where the Oilers offensively, they had plenty of chances. They outshoot the Minnesota Wild. They were in this game, but once again, end of the day, don't think it's crazy to say the Oilers could have used a couple more saves, and then after that, the wheels just kind of fell off. But Zachary, give me a vibe check. How we doing, brother?
Oh, that sucked. Like you said, man, I thought it was a good start to the game. You know, they come out, they look good. They get the first goal from Leon Draisaitl just 3 minutes and 16 seconds into the game. And it's like, okay, here we go. Like, this is what we want to see, right? They showed a little stat before the game. The Oilers are like 22-1-5 this season when scoring the first goal. Awesome. Minnesota gets one back. Joel Eriksson a couple minutes later. It's like, okay, well, they're still in this. Boom, Nugent Hopkins. They get another 2-1 lead for the Edmonton Oilers. And then all of a sudden, Zach Hyman ends up in the penalty box for his runaway train hit on Jesper Wallstedt. Kaprizov scores on the subsequent power play. The Oilers sleepwalk into the intermission and come out just super flat in the second period, and basically just give the game away to Minnesota here. That's really what it felt like happened. They seemed to have no answer from that second period on for either Wallstedt, never mind Jack Roslovic getting a goal, or defensively. I mean, they were an absolute mess. Couldn't buy a save from Tristan Jarry. Connor Ingram didn't really look a whole lot better between the pipes tonight. Pretty rough night all around.
Disappointing result for the Oilers. You talking that second period? Yep. Game is over right there in a nice 3-goal stretch. Obviously, Tristan Jarry gets yanked. Not his finest hour in an Oilers jersey. But in that second period, the Oilers were outshot 17-7, dude. So, hey. Oh, sorry. They outshot them 17-7. That's right. It's a tough one tonight. Yeah, you really feel, hey, was winning 3, was that the monkey the Oilers needed to get off their back? And I said it a lot on pre-gaming, felt like this Minnesota game was going to be, without a doubt, the toughest test they would have in the month of January. Called it a good measuring stick contest for the Oilers. Not the result you're looking for. They did not measure up well against one of the Western Conference's, I'll say it, elite teams in the Minnesota Wild. They look awesome. They scare the hell out of me. They got 2 goalies. They got depth. They got a little bit of everything in that Minnesota Wild roster. But first things first, let's get caught up in the chat. I'm sure it will be a spicy one this evening. Be sure to throw down your like. Make sure you are subscribed. And then you see it at the top of the YouTube chat. The voicemail line is active. Let it rip. What'd you think about Tristan Jarry tonight? What'd you think about the Oilers' entire effort? Intern Tristan is in. He said, send in your voicemails. Keep them clean-ish, though. I can't really edit anything out tonight. So swearing aloud, tasteful swearing, and once again, let it rip. Sadistic said, you win some, you lose some. Still love this team till the day I die. Damn right. I'll be back ready to go Tuesday night when the Oilers play host to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Nick Alberga from Leafs Nation is going to be joining pre and post game on Tuesday. So get all your meanest chirps ready in the chat for him. Nathan said not a very mature game from the Edmonton Oilers. They took some early penalties. They paid the price. And then Tristan Jarry, bad hockey game for the Oilers netminder. Fighting Amish, just terrible. Human Notes said they are so bad this year. It feels bad. At the end of the day, they came into this one. They were tied for first place in the Pacific Division. I should check what the state of that Vegas Golden Knights game is right now, since they were taking on the Seattle Kraken. Ryan S. said it's all good. They can't win them all. What is the score right now, Zach?
Seattle won 3-2.
Hey, it's not all bad tonight, folks. A little bit of positivity. Behind the scenes. Muff Snelda, that was a poopy game. One way to describe it, for sure. Percy, who's on After Hours tonight. We must have gotten through the Hockey Night in Canada After Hours curse. It's actually Bill Guerin who's joining them this evening. See some more from Dre. Oh, no, we suck again. Yep, life comes at you fast, especially when you're a fan of the Edmonton Oilers. Jay says, I heard we had our goaltending figured out. Zachary, something tells me goaltending is going to be the crux of tonight's Oilers Nation After Dark, and there's a lot of discussion to be had about it. You know it's bad when even Payton at Oilers Nation is in and says, Jarry didn't play good. I'm sad. And then CD65, they need to rotate Pickard in again. Have that third goalie challenging the other two. To be honest with you, you tell me that 2 weeks ago, I would have called you batshit crazy and insane. Why even consider that? We'll continue to unpack it, but Tristan Jarry has not given me a ton of confidence in him lately. Once again, Calvin Pickard has given me next to zero confidence throughout the season, so it's really not the decision you want to have to choose between two of those guys right now. Abby's in, said, we want Stu Skinner back. What an awful trade. Yeah, that could be a thing. And then we do have some super chats. Reminder, all your super chats in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a cause very near, very dear to all of us things throughout the city. We saw Connor McDavid always partnering with the Ben Stelter Fund. He was going out to multiple schools this week, doing good stuff in the community. It's Josh. He said, winning 4 in a row is overrated anyways. That's the loser talk spin zone that I'm looking for, baby. Going to get in my bag tonight. And then Chemo Man left $6.99 as a super chat, but didn't actually say anything in the super chat. So Chemo Man, maybe throw in another chat. You don't have to put any money to it, and we'll treat that as your super chat. So we appreciate you donating to the Ben Stelter Foundation. Before we get into things, we must say big shout out to Capital GMC Buick, new friend here at Oilers Nation After Dark. Check out their extensive inventory of top quality vehicles like the 2026 GMC Terrain Denali or the 2026 Sierra Denali Ultimate. Capital GMC Buick is Edmonton's highest volume GMC dealer and the #1 certified pre-owned dealer in Alberta. They are rated #1 GM dealership in the country by Dealer Rater for 3 consecutive years. And we are very happy to have them join us here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Bert, get it ready. Get it locked and loaded. I need something to pick me up. Give me some Drizzy Drake as we get into tonight's headlines, baby. Back-to-back ad reads. Shout out to Greta Bar Yeg. Headlines are brought to you by them. Arcade, bar, street food. Without a doubt, my favorite spot in the entire city. So much so, I popped in last night after the Offspring Bad Religion concert. Had to get a couple suds, couple shots, played the football game for 30 minutes, set the high score for last night, and then I got out of there. Zachary, my business was tended to. Amen, brother. I'm sure Tyler will be out there tonight trying to break that record as well. But as for the headlines, disappointing results on home ice for the Oilers. The third period, man, that crowd was quiet. And we just mentioned it. After finally getting what was a good start for the Oilers, they somehow are not able to capitalize. They were up 1-0 3 minutes into this hockey game on just an unbelievable. Brett, we have the highlight here. Throw it up for me because this is just Leon Draisaitl at its absolute finest with body control. Matt Boldy all over him, trying to stick that side, get that side. There's nothing he can do about it. Leon Draisaitl rips an absolute Curtis freaking laser Lazar beam. has a shot here. Kind of lost myself in that one a little bit. Hand up, accountability. But it was an awesome start for the Oilers. Yes, they allow one quickly after, and then Nuge, you got to be lucky to be good. Good to be lucky. The Oilers go up 2-1, and I thought there were multiple parts in their game tonight that I did like, which is crazy to say in a 7-3 game. They got the chances. They did have some offensive puck possession, and they weren't defined by the lulls that we have seen throughout many a game where they just completely, they kind of took a crap in their pants, but I'm really going to blame a lot of that on Tristan Jarry for much of the second period. But in this game, they struggled on the PK, Zach. They struggled in goaltending, and those are two pretty big areas that you need to succeed in if you want to be successful. Kind of feel like those two units, at least for the first 40 minutes, which was the game, that is what let the Edmonton Oilers down, though. Taking too many penalties, no answers on the PK, and then in the second period, Tristan Jarry unable to make any resemblance of a save.
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the details in the Oilers game, especially defensively, were just lacking tonight. You know, the goaltending was an issue. You know, you talk about the penalty kill being an issue. That obviously was a sore spot for the Oilers tonight. Granted, you know, the power play has kind of been a bit of a strength for the Oilers for a while. The penalty kill has been a bit of a strength for the Edmonton Oilers here as of late. So a little bit of a surprise to see it kind of take the turn. But hey, listen, this is a very talented, offensively gifted Minnesota Wild team, right? You know, we've seen the Oilers have struggles with the Wild in the past without Quinn Hughes. You know, guys like Joel Eriksson Ek, Matt Boldy, Kirill Kaprizov. You throw Hughes into that mix, man, like we've talked about tonight. I mean, this is a team that is looking they're in a very, very good spot here right now. So yeah, it was the details for the Oilers tonight that kind of lost them this game here. And again, like I don't want to be too negative because I do think there were some good things. You know, they pumped like 40 plus shots on goal tonight, ending up with 42 shots on goal. That's just the third time this season the Wild have given up 40 or more shots against in a game. So, you know, the Oilers did some right things. They got to the dirty areas. You know, they generated 20 high dangerous scoring chances tonight, which on any given night is a pretty solid number there. But hey, you got the Minnesota Wild over there putting up 23 in their own right. So it was a tough game for the Oilers, man. Like we all knew that this was not going to be an easy one. And boy, the final score kind of blew our low scoring game prediction well out of the water.
Yes, maybe not the game to bet the under when they finished with 10 goals on the evening. Hand up, accountability. I missed on that. But Zach, I do like that you mentioned it because it needs to be said. The Minnesota Wild are a very good hockey team this season. They excel at pretty much everything, dude. They don't have many weaknesses. They're top 10 on the power play. Their goaltending, depending on which goaltender, both Philip Gustafsson and Jesper Wallstedt can steal games for their team. They're hard on the forecheck. They cycle the puck well. They take advantage of their special teams. They have good depth, and then they have a physical element to them as well. This Wild team, you saw it early on to start the game. There was a pace out there on the ice. Both teams going up and down the ice. I thought, man, I could watch this for 7 games in the Western Conference Final later on this season if we are so lucky to get there. But that Wild team in a very competitive and loaded Central Division, a division that is more defined by the headline teams, your Colorado Avalanche, your Dallas Stars, hell, last year, the Winnipeg Jets, but the Minnesota Mild, the nickname they have had for the last several seasons, that doesn't fit the mold anymore here, brother. They are exciting. They are a dangerous team and a scary team to play against. It's pretty much all around. I think with Bill Guerin at the helm, the trade deadline still upcoming. They might still have another move or two. So buckle up if you're a fan of the Central Division. Now, want to talk about it. It's a major, major, major story in this hockey game, and it frankly cannot be ignored. Tristan Jarry was not good in this hockey game. He had some chaotic stops even to start the hockey game where, yes, he made the stop, but it just didn't look right. There was a lot of chaos surrounding Tristan Jarry this evening, and he was leaving his crease aplenty, oversliding from side to side, making some beer league-esque saves, you might even say. And yes, Early on in the game, he falls victim to a top 10 Minnesota power play. But then as the game evolved, Tristan Jarry just completely lost it. Brett, let's go through them here. The third goal, the Matt Zuccarello one off the face-off draw. This one right on Zuccarello's stick. It's executed to absolute perfection for the Minnesota Wild. But you see it there. Tristan Jarry is just not ready. He's not set, and he gets beat on a shot that he sees every step of the way. You move along to the second goal where it's Quinn Hughes going end to end. Edmonton Oilers having a bad change there where it's the long change in the second period. He comes in flying down, misses the net, hits the end boards, and is able to corral his own rebound off the end boards and fire it at Tristan Jarry before Jarry can get set and get into proper position. It was an ugly, ugly goal on this one, especially, and kind of squeaks through him there on the 5 hole he spins at the very end. That was puke in my mouth, gross. And then, Brett, let's go to the Tarasenko goal here as well. It's an odd man rush, 3-2 for the Minnesota Wild, but Jarry seeds this one every step of the way, and he just gets beat cleanly, mano a mano from, yes, a good sniper in one, Vladimir Tarasenko, but you could tell he just didn't have it this evening. He was subsequently yanked right after this goal, and Connor Ingram goes into the crease, doesn't do much better in the situation, but kind of feels like the Oilers. The damage was already done after the Wild scored their 5th goal. And Zachary, it opens us up to an interesting conversation here. I'm not entirely there yet, but at what point do we start to worry a little bit about one Tristan Jarry? Because not only do I think in a small sample size, he does look a step behind one Connor Ingram, he looks to be the exact same goalie as Stuart Skinner. It's sloppy side-to-side movements. It's allowing early goals, allowing weak goals. I was at the Jasper Park Lodge last weekend with Johnny Lazarus, and he called Tristan Jarry Stuart Skinner East. And I have been unable to get that out of my head since the moment he said it. And right, we all had the concern when this trade was made that this could be a lateral move with a hefty price to pay. And the fact the Oilers didn't get any trade retention, it has you worried. I came up with a clever meme of my own here. So, Brett, if you want to throw this one up. But this is how I felt tonight watching Tristan Jarry in the crease, because you could have switched the numbers and told me that was Stuart Skinner, and I wouldn't have had any doubts. Never thought we'd actually work Alex Jones into the show. Fuck that guy. But regardless, it's a fantastic meme, and you need to find a way to use it. Now, Zachary, to be fair, I do need to say this. Stuart Skinner actually tonight had literally the exact same stat line as Tristan Jarry. He had stopped 15 of 20 for a .750 save percentage in the Pens 6-5 win over the Rangers. He didn't get yanked in this one, so I'll let you do your own research on that one, but he does get the win. He doesn't get yanked, so it still needs to be clear that bad games do happen to both goaltenders, but we've seen it, dude. The numbers for Stuart Skinner since he has joined the Pittsburgh Penguins feels like he's kind of found a home, and I don't even care about that. He's not an Oiler anymore, whatever. But Tristan Jarry has not looked to be that 1A, 100% game one starter of the NHL playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers. And tonight, dude, I'll say it, he was straight up awful.
Yeah, he wasn't good tonight. I'm not overly impressed with what we've seen from him so far. It's a fairly small sample size still, 10 games played, all things considered. Pump the brakes a little bit on everything here, right? In the same breath, let's start to see a little bit more here. He's down to an .873 save percentage, evidently not good. 5-on-5 save percentage is kind of where one of his strengths has been, where he's got an .895. The real killer for Tristan Jarry right now is on the penalty kill. He's got a .765 save percentage on the penalty kill. That is abysmal. That is clearly the one area that is really sinking his overall numbers right now. And again, when you look at it tonight here, 2 power play goals against, not helping on that front whatsoever, right? So At this point in time, like I'm not really seeing anything from Tristan Jarry that says he's better than Connor Ingram was or has been up until this point with the Edmonton Oilers. They're going to ride both of these guys here. They're going to give both of them looks. As far as I'm concerned right now, I'd like to see a little bit more Connor Ingram than I'm seeing Tristan Jarry here. Like, I mean, it's a fairly even split, all things considered at the moment. Since Ingram came up, he's played 12 games. Jarry's played 10 games since he was acquired. So, obviously some of that has to do with the fact that Jarry missed some time with injury, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't know, man. Like, I just don't feel super confident at the moment. Certainly didn't help Ingram's case that he came in and didn't look the greatest himself, giving up 2 goals against on 9 shots. Pretty tough spot to be put in nonetheless, right? But yeah, I kind of feel like I'm left wanting a little bit more with Tristan Jarry here. And by the way, Brett, great pull with the X-Files song there. I'm in the middle of like my 5th or 6th watch through of the X-Files right now, getting hyped up for the reboot. So that was a really nice touch. Love it.
Shout out Detective Mulder. Shout out Mulder. Shout out Gully. They do great work over there. But yeah, Zachary, once again, I need to preface everything with it is a small sample size. There is still so much time before now and game 1 of the NHL playoffs. A lot can go wrong. A lot can go right as well. But I do feel like there's been the inside track. I'll say Nobby has given Jarry the inside track so far, it feels like, on the 1A position in the crease. And I don't know if that's totally justified. Fact of the matter is, yes, he does get paid considerably more money than any other goaltender on this squad, and he's a guy who signed for the rest of Connor McDavid's tenure in the Edmonton Oilers organization. Still early, but tonight obviously didn't build much confidence. People in the chat, KB Stir, simple. He was bad. Jay said the net was a Jarry. I like that pun there. Shout out to Gene. Percy said he didn't look comfortable at all, and it was those erratic movements, the side to side, dropping his stick, getting 3 feet out of the blue paint while there's chaos happening on the other side. It is just, we talk about Connor Ingram and how technical he looks and how that's really the guy you feel the most confident in because he's normally, not always, normally in the right position. He's tracking pucks, trying to give out proper rebounds to maybe that angle or there or swallow him up in general. But with Tristan Jarry, it's just, it feels erratic. It feels unpredictable at points. And I'll be real with you. Makes me a little bit nervous from time to time. This one said holy side grade from one Stuart Skinner to Tristan Jarry. And then Peyton said, can we stop talking about Stu? LOL. The trade happens months ago. I'd have this response, but Battle took it right out of my mouth. People still talk about Holloway and Broberg. We're going to hear about this until 2040. And it's not anything new, Peyton. There was a lot of people out there that said these exact same things when the trade went down. And now we've got a 10-game sample size and maybe just haven't been entirely sold yet. But it is what it is. The Oilers, they fall 7-3 this evening. Only 2 more games to go before the Olympic break. One against Toronto on Tuesday, and then the Calgary Flames on Wednesday night. Let's go now to the good, the bad, and the oily, brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Download the app today. I'll tell you, Oodle Noodle will never let you down. They will never let you down. They got all kinds of assortment of premium, regular box options. I highly recommend the butter chicken mac and cheese. The butter chicken mac and cheese. Zach, you've seen it before. It doesn't look like the most appetizing thing. I'll be real with you. It kind of looks gross, but it is so good, dude. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a deadly dish there. Not one that I've had a lot, lactose intolerant guy over here, but the fiance does like that one. She's gotten that a few times. I've snuck a few bites here and there. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
I'll always give you a bite of mine, Zach. I'll always give you a bite of mine. That's what boys are for. Okay, let's throw it out here, Bert. The good this evening. And we went with the 4th line. And you may recognize this good from Thursday's game because it was back-to-back games here where we've gone with the 4th line. I thought they were solid. Curtis Lazar has been really good for the Edmonton Oilers for much of this season, but especially lately, he just kept playing the simple hard hat game that I love and appreciate. Driving pucks to the net. He even drew a penalty in the hockey game. Janmark and Freddie, they were heavy on the forecheck as well throughout this one. And I look at it here at the end of the game. No, their expected goals for percentage went down from where it was earlier. They did have some scoring chances. I think they had high danger were, oh God, it was 1-5. Oh, this changed drastically in the third period. I might have to take out the fourth line as good according to the fancy stats and the analytical numbers. Zachary, you got anything else you could throw for good out there tonight? Because I was struggling.
Josh Samanski got his first point in the NHL.
No.
That was pretty cool.
No, that's the Oilers. That's the Oilers.
The third line was good. The Josh Samanski, Jack Roslovic, Matt Savoy line. If you want to look at some fancies there, they did really well tonight. Outshot the opposition 8-0, outscored them 1-0, controlled 94.8% of the expected goal share. I think he maybe just had a typo in the good. I think you meant to put the third line, not the fourth. But hey, you know what? Some slack, right? But yeah, I thought that third line looked pretty good tonight. I mean, the top line had its moments. They loaded up, the nuclear option pretty early in this one. They played a lot together tonight. And again, it felt like there was chances. There was looks the Oilers had all night long, even going into that third and final frame there. So there was some good within the bad.
Yeah, there was in this hockey game. Once again, you could say good. The fact that the Edmonton Oilers pumped 42 shots on goal this evening, but Jesper Wallstead, he was up to the task. He finishes on the evening 39 of 42 for a .929 save percentage. As we may all remember, in early December, he had a 33 save shutout against these very Edmonton Oilers. So 2 games in his career against the Oil, and he has their number thus far. But that's good. With good comes bad. I think this one's pretty obvious. We went with one Tristan Jarry. He finishes 15 of 20 for a .750 save percentage. He allowed 3 straight softies in the second period, which ultimately that spelled the end of the Edmonton Oilers' chances in this hockey game. Yes, Connor Ingram was not really that much better. However, I would say, and a couple saves in tight. We've talked about it already. Jarry's movement was erratic. He was sloppy. He was out of position, and it's shocking how much he looked like Stuart Skinner, the bad version of Stuart Skinner out there this evening. Zachary, I don't even want to need to get into it anymore with the bad, so let's just move along to the oily, which could have been the good, and we went with Josh Samanski's first NHL point. What up for the kid? Big moment for him. I'm sure he'll have that puck for the rest of his career. Now, that point and that the goal comes at a point when it really didn't matter in the hockey game for the Edmonton Oilers, but it's nice to see him still, obviously, a set play here off the draw. Jack Roslovic buries it. Shout out to Darnell Nurse because making a fair amount of bad plays recently. That one was actually pretty beautiful to see behind the net, setting the puck right out front to one Jack Roslovic. Big ozone draw win for Josh Szymanski, and Zachary, he gets his first career NHL point.
They grow up so fast. Hey, it feels like just yesterday or just a couple days ago he got called up for his NHL debut. Here he is putting up points. Boy, soon he's going to be at 1,000, right? I don't know. But you know what? I think it's been great to see him kind of stepping into the NHL here and not really looking too far out of place whatsoever. Clean face-off win there. Great to see him pick up, his first NHL point. Again, incredibly small sample size here of 26 minutes at 5-on-5. With him on the ice, the Oilers have outscored the opposition 3-1 and outshot the opposition 19-7. The Oilers have controlled 61% of the expected goal share, been dominant in scoring chance and high dangerous scoring chance share. So, the early returns here have been really good. This third line has looked solid so far in these 3 games with these guys together. So, obviously going to get 2 more kicks at the can here against Toronto and Calgary. And then coming out of the Olympic break, we'll see what happens. But, there's starting to be a bit of an argument for seeing more of what this kid can do in an NHL lineup for the Oilers.
A little bit of a confidence build here for Josh Szymanski. It's wild to say, but he has not looked out of place in his role in that 3C position. He's fit in just fine. He's been good, sound positionally, offensively, and defensively. I've really liked what I've seen. And yeah, man, he's going to be playing for Team Germany as well at the Olympics. So if that goes well, maybe you get a little bit more confidence built in there. And obviously playing with your idol in one, Leon Draisaitl, has always got to be sick. Holy shit, Zach. Let's talk about that. When Leon Draisaitl went flying into those boards and I was either the first or the second period, Ooh, my heart stopped for a second. My butthole was clenched up like this because he went flying into the boards, kind of caught an edge. I blame the offspring last night and me being in the building, spilling beers all over the floor, but you got to do what you got to do. But he goes crashing in, and then you saw him go to the bench. They're doing an equipment check on his skate. But as he's getting the skate looked at, he's holding his hand and touching it, feeling it around there. I'm sitting on the couch with my girlfriend, and she goes, Aaron, it's his hand, not his foot. And I was like, no, he's just, no, it's his foot. Like, no, it's the equipment. Like, look, they're doing his foot. But then TD Force and Draisaitl turns, and they look at his hand a little bit. He eventually goes down the tunnel, and at that point, I'm full-blown panic mode because I'm like, Leon Draisaitl is one tough son of a bitch. He ain't going down the tunnel for just nothing. But then, thank the Lord, he comes back out a couple minutes later, and he was good to go, played the rest of the hockey game. But Zach, were you like me? Were you a little terrified there? I'm excited to cheer for Team Germany at the Olympics. And then part of me was like, damn, man, I'm only going to cheer for Canada then. But no, all good. Not just a scare.
Yeah, thankfully he came back into the game, looked no worse for wear there. I think what he was doing, like he couldn't really access his skates and his toes. So I think he was doing the old, this little piggy went to market, this little piggy went home, you know, blah, blah, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, no, that was definitely a bit of a nerve-wracking moment there. And, you know, the first thing that went through my mind was, well, if he busted his pinky, at least he could still play through that. Like, you know, like that's kind of what my first thought was. But it was a weird kind of instance, right? Like, I don't know if he just caught an edge or just kind of lost his feet underneath him, and it didn't look like he went, like he didn't try and like stop himself with his hand going into the boards. He kind of just took it off the full side and kind of like awkwardly collided with it that way. Thankfully it looks like he's all good, you know, knock on wood here, of course, right? But yeah, that was definitely a bit of a terrifying moment. Don't like seeing those happen too often.
Yeah, it was that was not ideal, man. That was, once again, he's fine. He's a tough guy. I was on my couch going, just snap it back in place, Leon. Get back out there. Zach, have you ever heard the story of Ronnie Lott, the 49ers old safety? So it was at one point, it was in a playoff game or something. He either bent it, broke it, did whatever. And they were like, man, you can't go back in the game. Like your finger's busted. And he said, I don't care. Cut it off. And they cut off the tip of his finger. And he went back out there to go play. Now, he would say, Leon, don't do that. Don't do that. Because Ronnie Lott later in his career would say, yeah, man, that was a really dumb decision of me. And I should have let the adrenaline wear off a little bit before I was making sound, clear decisions. I don't doubt Leon Draisaitl would consider it, but don't do it, Leon. Keep those digits safe. Let's go now to who was wearing the jeans this evening. Brought to you by Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn the Wilhauk name. Made from 100% Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products out of their Leduc location. For more info and to get your jerky on, head on over to WilhaukBeefJerky.com. So Percy's in with the most obvious one of them all, Tristan Jeans Jarry. I saw somebody also said Tristan Stewart Skinner Jarry. All kinds of jokes write themselves. Zach, this one also. Ryan S. had it. I know you tweeted it. Jack Eichel should also wear some jeans this evening, because that was just funny as shit to watch. For folks at home who missed it in the Vegas game, Eichel was trying to get onto the bench, tried to not go through the door, but just hop over the bench, something you do all the time. And looked like the first time he'd ever done that. He unsuccessfully attempts, spills out onto the ice. That's a jeans moment without a doubt. That's a guy literally wearing denim underneath his hockey pants. Zach, anybody? Oh, Tammy coming in with that rip. Jar Jar jeans. Oh, that hurts so much more when it's our sweet queen, Tammy. Yeah, Amanda said that's gold, Tammy. That is gold. It's gold, Jerry. Zachary, you got anything for the jeans that isn't Tristan Jarry?
Not really. I mean, I think Jack Eichel being an honorary jeans wearer is a great one, because it quite literally looked like he was wearing jeans. You know, first day learning how to change lines, not going off to a great start for Jack Eichel.
Producer Brett says he's got a candidate for the jeans. What you got, Bert?
Yeah, this one hurts me tonight, but it's actually going to be Jake Wallman. Didn't think he had a very great game, and on, I believe it was this goal, of course, none other than Tyler Pitlick. I just don't know where Jake Wallman's going on this play. And especially when the Oilers are trying to build back momentum and you're just kind of coasting and that's your man. Like, why are you below the goal line here? There's no reason for you to be below the goal line here. In fact, the reason that you shouldn't be below the goal line here is because Tyler freaking Pitlick is in the slot, your guy, and you just let him get a tap in like that. Good for him. We kind of clown on him during pre-gaming, and he gets this goal. But for me, it's Jake Wallman didn't have a great night tonight, and especially at a moment when the Oilers are trying to build back some momentum and all that, you can't have that.
Just goes to show that you can't leave a guy like Tyler Pitlick all alone in front of the Oilers net.
You simply can't do it, man. Well, hey, and also to be fair, poking fun, we congratulated him and said it's amazing that he's played. What'd you say, Zach? 400 games in the NHL?
This was 449 for him, and I was actually just looking back. He had an 8-goal season for the Edmonton Oilers, scored 8 goals in 31 games in 2016-17, which was the second most productive year of his career. Also that year, he had his highest goals per game total. So he was an elite sniper for the Oilers for those 31 games.
That's it. I've seen enough. Bring him back. Homecoming. Tyler Pitlick to the Oilers this summer. Book it. You heard it here first. But I do like what Brett said there about Jake Wallman, because, man, I was already just so checked out on this game, just so frustrated already. But you're right. In that moment, I'm screaming on my couch, what the are you doing? Why are both of you below the goal line, leaving him wide open in front? But to be honest, it felt like everyone was just a mail-it-in point at that. But Brett's right. He still had a shot to get back in that game. Bouchard hit a post eventually after they got the Roslovic goal. And we know the Edmonton Oilers down, but never out until I hear that fat lady sing, until I hear the final whistle. It will never be over. But, yeah, I think that one's fair. Jake Wallman also got lit up behind his own net at one point in this hockey game. He got absolutely destroyed. Jake Wallman still trying to find his way. Not back to playoff performance levels that we saw last year, but still plenty of time to get there. Let's go now. Don't want to do it, but Boardsy's Bankroll brought to you by Bet365. 19 plus. Please play responsibly, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. We'll use the promo code NATION, NATION. What does that spell? Nation. Shut up, Bet365. They do amazing things. I also thought the Pro Bowl was tomorrow, Zachary, but no, it's actually on a Tuesday. They do the Pro Bowl on Tuesday? What?
Back in my day, the Pro Bowl used to mean something, Boardsy.
Fun fact, Zach. I went to the Pro Bowl once in Hawaii, and I was at the game, the only Pro Bowl anyone ever remembers, where Sean Taylor drilled that punter, and he tried to run the fake punt, and then he goes to the side. I was on that side of the field when that went down. I was like 7, something like that. The Pro Bowl used to mean something, damn it. No, it has never meant anything. Throw it up for me, Bert. Bet365, Boardsy's Bankroll. Swing and a miss this evening for the boards, man. The one area that I was in a slightly positive direction was Evan Bouchard, 3+ shots on goal. Zach, he finished with 9 shots on the evening, man. It was an unbelievable offensive performance from Bouchard here. He played 24 minutes, 41 seconds. Zach Hyman, he has 2 shots, not the 3 I was looking for, and stays off of the score sheet. Disappointing one. One positive, though, Jack Roslovic did score a big goal tonight, and I know I've been tracking it. His anytime goal scorer number on Bet365 has slowly been increasing. So anyone who rode with that one tonight, congratulations, folks. So I do think we're also going to be doing a quicker version of Oilers Nation After Dark. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel just terrible under the weather. I've been sweating all day. I'm all Dayquil, NyQuil up, Tylenol up. Got my Gatorades down here. Flu game performance. We're powering through. But I do believe we have a couple. Do we have the voicemails? I think we do. They're ready to go. Yeah. We'll get into them here. They're brought to you by Swiss Donair. Well, now they've been in Edmonton for 25 years and are now open 7 days a week. The pride of the North Side. They got home of the old school Donair with options if you want some flair. Great for your events at your home or office. Also fantastic after a night of drinking beers. Highly, highly recommend use some Swiss Donair. Producer Brett, I think we got a smaller amount of voicemails tonight. It's late. It's Saturday night. Holy shit, it's 11:30 right now. What do we got, Producer Bert?
Yes, we got 2 voicemails this evening. One from, actually both from first-time callers, but one of them is a very long-time listener. That'll be the second one. But first, this is from Damon.
What's up, Bordsy? Brad, Zach, checking in from Saskatoon. Fuck. Me and a couple buddies tonight went out to the brew house, as one would, watch UFC fight, watch an Oilers game. By the end of it, UFC fights were over. I was watching the Bakersfield Condors game on my phone because the Oilers were that brutal. You want to talk about goaltending? Connor Unger, 43 saves tonight, 3-2 win over the Canucks. Wow, what a game. Go Condors.
Cup year for the Condors.
It might be, man. They're looking really good this season. Connor Ingram actually ended up with a team record 51 saves tonight. For those counting at home, it's a 962 save percentage. They're having a really good year here. Third in the Pacific Division right now, I believe, and I'm just trying to see if I can pull this up on the fly here. They are still second in league scoring, 150 goals. I don't know if that accounts for tonight's game or not, but that's in 43 games played. Belleville Senators, 46 games played on the year, 151 goals. They've been getting some really good goaltending here from Connor Unger as of late. Looking like somebody who's really developing quite quickly for this team.
Yeah, Connor Unger, dude. Once again, he's too young. People are always I see it in the chats. I see it in the comments. I see it on Reddit. They're like, call him up. Bring him up to the NHL. No, we got to let him marinate in the minors. Do not give him too much too fast. But he's handling his AHL stint here, and he's handling it well, man. He's been pretty good. So that's one positive storyline for Oilers goaltenders. And actually, we do have a clip here. One, Tristan Jarry talking to the media post-game about playing behind the Edmonton Oilers defense. And
it's not in yet.
Oh, it's not ready yet, Bert?
No, it's not in yet. You want it? I'll bring
it in.
I want it.
Yep. All good. We got that. Tristan Jarry. Seeing it online here, I'm seeing on Twitter that maybe people are feeling that Tristan Jarry was none too pleased with the Edmonton Oilers' effort in front of him this evening. I see Jake Wallman had a quote as well, just trying to dial it in, be a little bit harder in our own zone, which we know has been an issue that has plagued the Edmonton Oilers for much of this season. Bert, if you got it, you tell me when you got it, and then we'll get her going. Zachary, do you think Tristan Jarry would be justified in being a little upset at his Edmonton Oilers decor?
It's about time somebody said something. Listen, this isn't entirely a new issue for the Oilers. Defensively, the team doesn't really look back over the last decade. Like, how many goaltenders have had defenses play in front of them that have not been great? It feels like a real long, continuous thing here. So really curious to see what Jarry has to say about this, because that would be kind of spicy if he is kind of taking aim at the defense in front of him.
Yeah. I'm just looking in here. People are telling
coming in right now.
Yeah, all good. You tell me when. I'm seeing people are getting mad at Shooter McGavin right now. Shooter, you get blocked by people because people think you're weird. So that's what happens when you do weird stuff. People tend to not like that when you do weird stuff. Don't worry, Shooter. Me and you will always be chill. But I'm excited to see if you did leave a voicemail. Just waiting here for the video. Whatever, Brett, you got another voicemail for me then? If you want to just play that one then, if you got it.
I do. This video is taking its sweet, sweet time. Jarry must have really given some shit there. But it's funny you bring up Shooter McGavin, because guess who left a voicemail?
I thought so,
baby. Here he is.
Good evening, folks. How's it going? This is the famous Shooter McGavin, or as some of you like to wrongly accuse me as this Doug character. So I'm not going to say anything about our special teams, because that's going to get me banned or put in timeout. I'm not going to say anything about our defense, because that's going to get me banned and put in timeout. And I'm definitely not going to say anything about our offense, because that's going to be banned and put in timeout. Just want to say thanks a lot for letting me be part of the team. And thanks a lot for including me in all the chats. We all have bad days, and I know I come on here for some therapeutical sessions sometimes. Boardsy, light up a bit. Light up on me a little. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful Saturday. And talk to you soon. Shoot out.
That's the most Dugway comment I've ever heard in my life. Just kidding. Now I feel bad, Shooter. Come on, brother. We love you. Chat loves you as well. There's always going to be some give and take. I do know a fair amount of them have you blocked. But hey, all right, we can officially turn over a new leaf here, Shooter. Zachary, how old do you think Shooter McGavin sounded there?
Great question. I don't know if he'll be old enough to know Stu's song from The Hangover. Doug.
That's an unbelievable pull. I love that pull, Zachary. Excellent reference, Shooter. We love you. We love you. Tammy's in here and she says, yup, that's Doug. I don't love Doug. Forgiveness to Shooter. Shooter, we all love you, buddy. Eccentric voice, LOL. That's a whole new layer to the Doug Shooter thing. Now that we have heard his voice, we're going to keep peeling back the layers on this onion here. But I do believe the clip is now loaded, so I'm excited to get a look at this. Tristan Jarry talking to the media post-game about him and the Oilers' performance tonight.
It's just hard. I think, like I said, we were just on the wrong side of it tonight. There's obviously a lot of goals that went in, and I think that everyone knows when we play the game that we want, I think that's the game that we want to put on the ice, and I think that'll put us on the better side of things more so than not. But I think to be on that side, we just have to tighten up and we have to eliminate some of the chances.
Are the grade A's against, is that kind of a recurring theme, or is that kind of one-off here and there, or is it more than you'd like?
It's tough because the way that we want to play fast, we want to play up, we want to play in their end, and I think when we're taking some of those chances, they come back at us, and it's tough. So I think we just have to make sure we're managing the puck a little bit better.
Well, there you hear him say it. I got to say, Tristan, get used to it, brother, because the Edmonton Oilers, this has been a consistent style of play they've had over the last number of seasons. And maybe we as fans, when we hear Tristan Jarry say it a little bit, maybe it takes us back to, maybe it wasn't always just entirely one Stuart Skinner. Maybe that the five skaters out on the ice do have an impact on the shots against that an Edmonton Oilers goaltender is going to see throughout a hockey game. Zachary, what's your reaction to that clip there?
Well said.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Oilers were giving up far too many good looks tonight. I mean, it felt like every time you looked up and the Oilers were in the defensive zone, there was a real high dangerous scoring chance that the Minnesota Wild were able to get. And look, again, evidently they were able to get 5 past them. Yeah, okay. You know, the one I think that or the two that you really want back, like I think is especially the Quinn Hughes one, right? The bounce off the wall there. You know, I can't really blame him too much for the Zuccarello one because, I mean, that was just a great play off the draw, right? I mean, that's exactly what you're trying to do every time you're playing gel at home. You know what I mean? You're trying to win that face off to that winger, that defenseman, get that shot on net really quickly. Again, like this is exactly how you draw it up, right? So I can't really blame him too much for that one. You know, the Hughes one, again, yeah, I'd like to see him, try and figure out how to stop that one there. The Tarasenko one was the one that was the kind of the real killer for me, right? Again, Hughes, like it's tough, right? He's such a talented player, but like this is the one right there where it's like, okay, you know, that's a shot going opposite corner on you up top. Maybe he's screened a little bit by Bouchard here. Not even close. I mean, that's one you got to have, right? So I get it to a certain extent for sure. I mean, listen, the team's got to play better in front of him. In the same breath, I think there's a couple that he probably wishes he could have had back himself.
A little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. I see Tammy said Jar Jar was right. And he was also asked this evening. Nathan said, well said. Totally agree with Jar Jar, but he was also a huge part of it tonight. And yeah, that Tarasenko goal was just the straw that broke the camel's back. That's the one that you could not bounce back from. The Hughes one was absolutely terrible, awful. That makes me want to throw acid in my eyes. And I'm going to push back even a little bit more on the Zuccarello one, because to me, yes, that's textbook win of the draw. That is, your references are out of control tonight, Zach. Everybody knows that. he just wasn't ready. He just wasn't set. Like, that is one that's mano a mano. He sees it all the way. He's just a half second too late. But also at the end of the day, now I'm splitting hairs a little bit. I think both things can be true in what Tristan Jarry had to say post game. And while he met with the media after the game, so did one head coach Chris Knoblauch, talking about the string of having to pull goaltenders for the Edmonton Oilers and what he wants to see. Let's take a listen.
Like, are you looking for a save, or are you looking for better defending in front of them?
I think in save, we could get another save. I think we need to give up better, or I'm going to say fewer chances, because I think we do a pretty good job of spending a lot of time in the offensive zone, and the amount of chances we give up isn't that many. The quality of the chances is something that has to be addressed. It has to get better, like more perimeter shots, less breakaways or 2-on-1s, odd man rushes, those kind of things where that is leading to goals. So, yeah, that's what I see right now.
We have been seeing plenty of odd man rushes coming back the other way, but that's part of the live by the sword, die by the sword mentality of the Edmonton Oilers and their sometimes run and gun style offense. And just in general, puck management has been up and down throughout much of this season, and you never really know what you're going to totally get with the Edmonton Oilers. But even Nobby there, Zachary, seemed pretty set on start the clip. Need more saves. And sometimes it's okay to ask your goaltender that, hey, man, one of those final three in the second period there, Jarry, you have to stop one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Again, like, yeah, it's they're tough situations, tough spots, but boy, that's where you got to make a save, right? You need to stop in those situations, get some momentum back, kind of going the other way. You know, it's kind of ironic. Like, again, you know, we not to harken back on Stuart Skinner too much. Yeah, I think the biggest issue with Skinner was he struggled to get across quick enough. And at times it almost seems like Jarry gets across too quickly, right? He feels like he kind of got to reel that in a little bit here for him and kind of calm his game down a little bit. You know, I felt like right when he arrived, like those couple of games, the movement was very fluid. It was very sharp. It was very precise. Coming back from injury, it hasn't really felt like it's kind of been the same there. So, you know, let's see how it kind of starts to continue to go here. Again, only going to get one more look before the Olympic break. It's going to be 3 weeks off, or at least 2 weeks before they can start practicing again on the 17th. And then, boy, it's going to be right into the swing of it with a condensed schedule down the stretch run of the year.
Plenty of time for Tristan Jarry to figure out. And yes, still a short sample size. Step away for a couple of weeks on the Olympic break. Work on your game. And at the end of the day, it is just one. He will get another opportunity either Tuesday or Wednesday in the back-to-back situation for the Oilers. Hopefully that goes well and you spend the next 3 weeks feeling good about your game. But you got to call it how it is here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Tristan Jarry, a big part of the reason the Oilers lost this hockey game tonight. Zachary, that will do it for us here on Oilers Nation After Dark. Big shout out to the chat. Shuda, I now feel bad. Love you, appreciate you. Thank you for always being in the chat. Thanks for being here. Throw down your courtesy like folks. Make sure you are subscribed to the ON YouTube channel, and we will be live again Monday, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time for Oilers Nation every day. Plenty of goaltending discussion going to be going down on Monday. Who knows? Can we combine trade talk with goaltender talk again? You'll have to tune in, 12:01 Mountain Standard Time. Zachary, I love you. I appreciate you. Nice to get to do a pre and post with you once again. It's been a minute, brother. I missed you.
I miss you too, man. I miss you too. Happy to do this one here. Happy to do some more in the future. Yeah, love doing these, man.
Shout out producer Brett behind the scenes as well, doing a bang-up job. And, of course, intern Tristan, who has been an incredible addition to Oilers Nation since he joined. Sleep tight, everybody. The sun will rise again tomorrow. I also feel weird. There's no football on tomorrow, Zachary.
I don't know
what am I going to do? What do I normally
do? Activities on a Sunday now? You mean I have to maybe go outside on a Sunday? I'm used to being couch rotted all day.
I'm used to 7 hours of red zone football. I feel like I'm gaining an entirely new day of the week, which will be the case after the Super Bowl 2 weeks from now or 1 week from now. Go Drake May. Haven't mentioned him all show yet. Go Pats, go Drake. Zach, I love you. I appreciate you. Everybody in the chat, you're the best. And we will talk Monday at noon. Peace out. Sleep tight.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video.